Hello everybody, and today I'd like to talk to you about the Go Pro Hero 8 and its performance from the perspective of a professional photographer. So, the first thing you need to understand about this GoPro is the reason why I purchased it. I originally got it because I wanted to shoot some videos for YouTube, and I was looking for something that would check a few boxes. I needed something that was waterproof because I do a lot of kayaking, and I wanted the ability to shoot in the rain in the event that whatever event I was at became drenched, and I wasn't able to shoot for that reason. So I wanted something that was going to be waterproof, something that was going to be relatively impact resistant. I wanted something that was going to be small and lightweight, and something that was pretty much set it and forget it. When I go out, I'm mostly shooting stills, and I put a lot of time and effort and energy into shooting stills. So I didn't want whatever my alternative to be to also require a whole lot of mental input. So I picked up the GoPro, again, primarily because of how small it is. I mean, you can see right here next to the D750, this thing is tiny. I mean, this is smaller than the lens. I mean, it physically, it fits inside the hood of the lens. I mean, it's like a joke. It's tiny. So that checked that box perfectly. It is waterproof. However, I found out after I bought it that there's a number of people that are having issues with the waterproofness of the camera, where they're having failures, and GoPro is saying that it's not their fault. So I don't know exactly what's going on there. I have a feeling people are leaving this door partially open. When mine first came in, the door didn't want to seal completely. And I subsequently found out that if you don't push down significantly hard and latch it, that it wouldn't actually seat all the way. It would close, but it wouldn't seat all the way. So I think that's what everybody else was doing. I haven't had any issues whatsoever. I've submerged this camera multiple times, so I'm really confident in this camera. So the third thing, the set it and forget it. This is basically, I mean, you put it down and set it to record, and it does whatever it does, and it's perfectly fine. You know, there's not a lot of leverage in post-processing, but in terms of the initial output, it's perfectly fine, and I'm very happy with this. So that leads us into what I paid for it, and there's no beating around the bush. This is expensive for something that your phone can pretty much do. However, compared to my stills equipment, it's very cheap. This is cheaper than almost any lens I own. It's cheaper than any of my other cameras. However, it's still not cheap. There's no getting around that. You're going to pay for this. And you can buy older models, and as far as I understand, there's not a significant difference between this Hero 8 and the Hero 7. The primary reason I got the Hero 8 is because it can take a mod case, which is currently back-ordered, so I don't have it. But when it comes in, I'll be able to attach an external microphone to it, which will be a significant benefit for me. And it also offers a flip-up rear display, which I'm looking forward to receiving as well. You know, it's expensive. It's around $400. They do promotions. I found out after I bought mine for $400 that they subsequently took $100 off the price of them for about a month. So that's still going on, actually. So I missed the boat on that. I paid full price, and I guess I should have waited. Now, where it'll get you, though, is all of your accessories are going to nickel and dime you. I mean, anything with GoPro's name on it starts at $20. That's not a big deal. They're good quality items. They're durable, and you don't really need a whole lot of stuff, but you are going to pay for it. And then all of the accessories, of which, again, you do pay dearly for, all of the accessories are compatible with all previous GoPros. So if they replace this, I have every reason to believe that all my accessories will continue to work. Now, going into accessories, the most important accessory, I think, and this is, I don't even know if I would take an argument on this. This magnetic swivel clamp is amazing. This is, I think, 90% of the reason to own the GoPro system. This swivel clamp is strong enough to clamp on. I hook it onto glass and shoot video out the side of the window. You can clamp it onto paper. You can clamp it onto a hat. You can clamp it onto plastic or metal. It's also magnetic, so it'll stick to things. But you can clip this to anything, and it holds strong. It's durable. You know, it allows you to swivel. I put a tilt ball on top of it, which again I paid, I think, $19 for. But that gives me a lot of flexibility that you wouldn't otherwise have, and that means I can put this camera almost anywhere. I can stuff it into any corner, attach it to almost anything, and be able to produce video that I otherwise couldn't fit my main camera into, even if I wanted to. Or that I didn't come equipped for. Now, as far as image quality, the image quality is exceptional for video. Absolutely exceptional for video, in my opinion, for what this device is. However, for stills, I would not use this. I wouldn't use this for stills if I had an alternative. Not that there's anything specifically wrong, you just don't have a lot of leverage, and I prefer more control over my files than this provides. Now, the downside, and there are a couple of downsides actually, not one, there's a couple, to this GoPro from my perspective. The first one is these batteries. These batteries they're not expensive, but they don't last long. I mean, you get an hour of runtime out of these batteries, and that's at best, you know. And considering that, you know, for a 20-minute video, you may go through 4 or 5 hours of footage to pare that down, and if you're somewhere where you can't reasonably recharge them easily, you're going to need a lot of batteries. Naturally, the camera requires you to charge it in the camera. You can't charge them outside of the camera because it doesn't come with a charger. So that means that if your batteries die and you have to recharge them, you have to stop using the camera in the interim, which is, I think, a huge limitation, especially since you only get a 1 hour window. So what I did is I purchased the GoPro dual battery charger, which allows me to charge 2 batteries at the same time. It charges via USB-C, and that way I can continue shooting with hopefully my 1 or 2 good batteries while this is charging the ones that have already gone flat. That's a great solution, except it doesn't work if you're on water, because obviously even if you're using a charging block for this, as soon as you open up this door, it's no longer waterproof anymore. So that is a limitation. And I think that's a serious one that I would like to see them resolve somehow. I don't know how they would do it, but I would love to see a way that they can make that battery compartment sealed that would still allow you to swap the batteries without losing your weather sealing. Again, I don't know how they would do that, but I would love to see that. The other thing that I was able to do that I really wish GoPro would offer on their own that would come with it is I purchased an adapter to allow me to attach the GoPro to Arca Swiss style connection. Since all of my still photography equipment is all Arca Swiss, that makes this an extremely versatile system for me. So now I can clamp this GoPro into a small mini tripod. I can put it on my primary tripod. I can attach it to the rails that are on my panorama kit or on any of my cameras, simply by purchasing this adapter. And this adapter came from it's Go Tough. It's a third-party company. I've got no idea what the deal is with the company, but it appears to be a quality piece. I haven't had any issues with it. And by putting it on a little ball head, I gain a lot more control over the GoPro, and I have a lot more options as to where I can put it. The other downside that I found to the GoPro is and this is just, I think, a video-related downside. It's not specific to the GoPro, but it seems to consume a ton of file space. I really wish that there was a way to record good quality with a smaller file size, and if not, then I would really love to see them get rid of the micro SD cards. They're a pain in the butt. It's hard to get your finger in there to pop them out. When you do pop them out, popping the new one in is kind of finicky, and it's a pain. You know, considering that a 32 gig card will only give you about an hour and a half of recording time, and you figure you need 32 gigs per battery you're going to use. If you're going to go out and you're going to shoot 10 hours, I mean, you start to get to quite a lot of file size and quite a lot of cards. So of course you can buy larger cards, You can buy 128 gig or 256, or I'm sure there's a 512 out there that I haven't seen. But because they're micro SD, they're so small and they feel so delicate that I'd be terrified that you're going to break it, you know? So God forbid you have 12 hours of footage on a 256 gig or 512 gig, you know, probably what you would need for 12 hours, and you break it trying to pull it out of the camera because it's so finicky to get out, then you're going to lose a ton of work. It's completely and totally unreasonable, I think. I think it'd be a lot better if it was easier to remove, or if it would just take a full-size SD card. And looking at it, I don't see any reason why it couldn't. There's plenty of space there on the side. I mean, maybe there's something going on that I can't see, but it looks like it would have enough depth if they were so inclined to do that. Now, what just happened here, this is the other thing that kind of irritates me. And I know that they did it on purpose, because in order to put it into the mod case, you have to remove this battery door. But this battery door comes off really easy. I mean, it's like you open it up and it just flips off. I thought I broke it the first time I took this thing out, but somehow it's hard to put back on. It's so easy to take off, but it doesn't want to go back on, and I'm terrified I'm going to break the thing. I'm probably going to end up having to buy a spare just in case. The other thing that's kind of irritating, and it's not a big deal, but I wish that the solution was easier. In order to use filters on this, if I wanted to use neutral density filters to reduce the frame rate, then you've got to buy a pretty expensive filter kit, and then it goes on the mod case. I really wish the mod case just natively was threaded. There is a company, Small Rig, that makes a case that is threaded, but it doesn't give you a lot of the benefits that the mod case does. So you can't have the mod case with threaded filters, and I don't know why they didn't just give us that option. That would be really nice. But that's a fairly minor irritation. I fought these little cameras for so long. As a photographer, I always assume that there's no way the image quality can be anywhere near good enough compared to what I have come to expect, and it's really surprised me. Of course, I mean, there's no replacement for a full-frame sensor, but at the same time, this has really gone above and beyond for what I would have expected out of something of this size, and it's totally won me over. This is a great little camera, and I'm glad I got it. Thanks.